So if you guys recall, I did a bunch of service on my E55 AMG, and lo and behold, there is another issue that I'm encountering. So just my luck, but I'm going to be changing the oil in the supercharger, and fingers crossed that that will eliminate my noise. I believe that there may be an issue within the supercharger itself, maybe a supercharger bearing. The car does have 158,000 miles, so it's very likely. It is all original, so I don't think it was really beat on. I think maybe the oil change will help me out. I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway, so I'll show you guys how to do that. And fingers crossed, worst case, we're going to have to take off the supercharger. We're going to have to change the bearings inside of it and hope that that will fix the issue. But I'm getting a little bit of a squeal, a little bit of a what seems to be like a bearing noise coming from the blower area. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the noise, and then I'll go ahead and change the oil and see if that noise goes away. And if it doesn't, well, I guess we'll have to maybe take off the supercharger and inspect it further. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and let's get to work. Oil in there, and I got my 5mm. Can't get to it here, as you can see. We got to pop these hoses off, so let's go ahead and do that. I know this one will come off because I've taken it off. Oh, all right, a little crusty there. Now we get a swivel on this thing. Should be golden. She's going, and you're gonna need to reapply Teflon to this once it's off all the way. Now, problem here we're having is that there's no room to take that out now. Next, you're going to want to raise the car up and put a level on the engine right here and make sure it is level, like so. That way you'll be draining the supercharger oil properly. Ah, look at that. Okay, it's out. Grab it with the magnet. There she is. Let me see the Teflon here. So we'll go ahead and clean that up and reapply after we drain our oil. So what I've done here is I've shoved this thin metal wire through my tube, as there's a specific route that the tube has to go in order to get all the oil out of the supercharger. Alright, so this part is tricky. You have to bend this hose with the wire in it about 2.5 inches in, and then it's supposed to dip into the bottom of the supercharger case, and you should take out all the oil that way. Now, I've taken out majority of it, and I've been repeating the process. I did the syringe. Gruža. Tak. Tak. Now this is the new supercharger oil, and I would say I've taken out about a little more than half of old supercharger oil. Some of which is right here, and some of which I spilled, so I can't show you guys the exact amount, but I've been repeating this process and trying to get out more, and I even used a compressor extractor, which should help me get more suction and flow. And I'm going to try it a couple more times to make sure I got all of it out. But yeah, this thing should take the full amount that is supplied, which will be 150 milliliters, which when I clean this out and put in the new oil, it would be pretty much this whole syringe, and then I'll insert it through the tube. So let's go ahead and continue trying to take some more out. This is quite tedious, frustrating, all of the above. I think the best thing would be is if you had like a borescope that had, well, essentially a tube that had a little camera on it. That wouldn't work now, would it? Even then it would be difficult to get into where you need to go with this thing. It's so annoying. God, I hate this so much. There's no good way of doing this, just trial and error. Alright, so I got, I think, all of it out. I've tried it like the last half an hour. I've been going at it with the syringe, the extractors, nothing else coming out. So that's that. So I've used Blue Monster Teflon just on the tip here, the top part. Next up, we're gonna put 150 ml into our syringe. So we're gonna add our tip here, and we're gonna go ahead and let's try not to knock this all down. Doesn't have to be all of it in one shot, but you guys get the drift. I'm gonna go ahead and get a rag, put under there. Let's keep an eye out on this. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna replace the bearing in the supercharger pulley. So all I need to do is I remove the tension off the belt with the 17 here, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this pulley. And the trick without doing this with a press is once I remove the pulley, I need to heat the pulley up so that the bearing, which I'm gonna be freezing, will slide into the pulley without having to use a press. So I'll go ahead and get started with that in a little bit, but let me show you guys the old balancer. Here's where it's split. The other pieces in the trash already, but yeah, the rubber was worn on it. These two pulleys are actually still good. Not this one. This one is good. No noise from that one. And I think this one was okay still. Might keep this as a spare. But, nevertheless, we do have everything installed. Car's running. I'll go ahead and change this bearing and show you guys the process. So for this process, you're going to want to grab two large clamps, and then they're a little bit off-centered, and they're going to rest on this right here, and that'll allow you to break free this bolt right here, which I used extension for. Would have been easier if I did it with the fan shroud out, but I was able to do it this way. And you just take off the bolt. Once you remove the bolt, and you slowly slide the pulley off, and then pop the C-clip off the front there, right here, which we'll do in a minute. So let's try ahead and taking this off. Get my gloves. Looks like somebody used some sort of Teflon. It's probably from factory. And there should be some shims. And this supercharger pulley is really hot. You don't want to clean all that stuff off as well. I'll remove this C-clip here. Should I do this one-handed? There we go. And then we're just going to need to get this bearing out. So grab two pieces of wood, rest this in between, and get something that'll fit nicely in here. And hammer this pulley out. Alright, kind of lacking tools here, but I made something work, hopefully. And it is out, my friends. We'll clean this inside out. Alright, we have the pulley in the oven and the bearing in the freezer. And the bearing is in. Here's the part number if anybody needs it. Alright, so we got our bearing in. Go ahead and grab our snap ring pliers and put this snap ring back in like so. We'll let this cool off. It's still very hot. And then we'll put it on the supercharger. There we go. That's back in. Now we need our Loctite and our bolt. Gonna put a little bit. And we are done, folks. That is all for today. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We finished the oil change in the supercharger on the E55 and it does sound better. I'm gonna obviously drive it around, see if anything changes, if I'll get the noises I was having in the past. Bit of a chirping noise coming from that area. I don't hear that yet, but I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll probably be working on a few other things next. Most likely the suspension, and then I'll worry about the cosmetics, like doing a paint correction, interior detail, and then after I do the suspension, I'll be looking into lowering it a little bit, getting some two-piece SL65 wheels, probably color match to the body of the car, and then maybe some performance mods. But let me know in the comments below what you guys want to see me do to this car, and I'll catch you on the next one.